Running is well known as a stress reliever from the daily grind, but how and why can people use running to deal with anxiety and stress? Hello and welcome to the Ultra Running Podcast with me, Coach Marshy, Fat Man to Iron Man. I hope you're well. How's your training going? For me, unfortunately, I'm still working through a stress injury on my foot. So hopefully we'll be back out there with you all soon. So let's head over to the show. And today we talk to ultra runner Kev about running and how, as an entrepreneur or anyone, you can use running to help you.
Yeah, well, my name's Kevin Britton. I'm sure some of the high runners will know me, but I'm a serial entrepreneur, I suppose, in terms of my business activities, and running has become a massive part of my life in order to kind of process the kind of stresses, the overwhelm, anxiety that so many of us experience on a daily basis. And I find running is that great release for me. So that's kind of how I fell in love with running. I'm also very competitive and love a challenge. So I was challenged by someone who does some business mentorship with me to create content on social platforms every day for a year. And it's something that is so alien to me. I hate front-facing stuff like this, but I love running. And this all kind of coincided with when lockdown, the original lockdown, first lockdown kind of occurred, where all our running races, marathons, ultra races were kind of cancelled. So I thought, well, you know what, I'll run every day for a year as a challenge. I'll do a minimum of 5K, perhaps a bit longer at the weekends. And I'll vlog whilst I'm doing it and talk about my experiences in business and kind of overcoming those emotions of stress, overwhelm, and anxiety. And then the Runpreneur kind of vlog was founded. So, but other than that, I've been running for 3 to 4 years, maybe. I am a member of High Runners, and Coach Marshy has trained me and helped me along the way.
So Runpreneur, what is Runpreneur? Tell us what that is. What is the idea? What's the concept?
Yeah, the idea is that you know, entrepreneurship is such a lonely place, and you'll know yourself being a fellow business owner, and quite often we kind of have all these stresses and pressures that kind of come to us as entrepreneurs, but anybody in daily life kind of have the stresses and pressures of daily life. And I find that you have to have a release mechanism or some ability to relieve or process the stresses that's happening in your life, get some clarity and focus and keep them under control so you can kind of move on to the next stage. And so many people don't have that release mechanism, or they have the wrong release mechanism, because you can obviously do things like exercise, which is obviously what I'm very pro about, especially with running. But other people might eat more or drink more, you know, to try and process these things which have an adverse effect. So Runpreneur was founded predominantly for me, in many respects, to tell my story. I'm not hugely concerned about how many followers and things I get. If people like my content, they'll follow me. But it helps me just process the daily stresses and overwhelm that I experience in my life. It also gets me out running every day, which I've never felt better and fitter because of it. And hopefully it inspires people that, you know what, running is 80% mental for me, and it helps. It's like when I run vlog, it's like I'm going to counselling every day, and I can just get all of the stuff off my chest. And I just process things and come up with the best ideas and the best things to kind of move on in my journey. And you know, I owe that to running and vlogging whilst I run. So that is my release mechanism. So that's why Runpreneur was founded, is to help entrepreneurs or anybody who wants to use exercise as a way to relieve the daily pressures of stress, overwhelm, and anxiety.
Yeah, I mean, I've certainly watched many of your videos, and actually, you know, it's very relatable in terms of some of the things that you're saying from a business point of view. And for me personally, running has been something that I use as a release, and almost that running free kind of mentality from mental health and the stresses of the day. And, you know, I don't know if it's the same for you, Kev, but I could be a very different Marshy if I haven't been for my run that week. If I had a week off running, it could be a very different mindset and a kind of, you hit the pit of misery almost compared to if you're out. Is that something you sort of get as well?
Absolutely. I mean, I think there's a lot to be said about different people's personalities and how their energy levels kind of ebb and flow throughout the day. But look, I'm a terrible morning person. Okay, I can work quite late and kind of process quite late. I'm more of kind of a night owl. But I'll wake up Sundays and I'll just feel like, you know what, I'm not fancying this. You know, I don't want to do my work. I don't feel it today. And we all feel like that. But ever since I've used the running vlog, I'm conditioned to do it, and I go out every day. I'm always going out. It could be 8:30 as early, it could be 9:30 as late as it kind of gets. But I'll go out and do my 5K, and every day I come back, I'm refreshed, recharged. The kind of positive endorphins that running promotes, I'm then just in a really good place to kind of crack on with my day. So it boosts my productivity levels and clears my head. It's invaluable, and I don't think I'll talk to you about my kind of targets a bit further down the line because they constantly change, but I don't ever feel that I want to change doing this. It's tough. You know, I don't want to run every day. You know, I really don't sometimes, but I know that the benefits of it by far outweigh the negatives. And I've conditioned myself by doing it for so long now that I don't question it anymore. I just get up, whether it's minus 10 degrees out there or whether it's, you know, in the blistering sunny heat. I'll just kind of go out and do it now. And it's such a big important part of my life. So
running every day, something that I'm used to, and anyone who's followed my content for a while will know that it's probably not something most people understand or do. Where are you in this journey of running every day for a year? At the time of kind of recording, where are we?
270 days straight so far. But I run every day. I have done a marathon in there. I've done a few half marathons in it as well. And it's challenging when you do the longer stuff and then have to continue, because obviously you're not getting any recovery. And building up to a marathon as well, I was running 5K every day as well, up to that as well. So it's that becomes more challenging. But you just get used to it. And I think the key is it's, you know, it's a marathon, not a sprint. I know that's an analogy that's used, but it really is. And I don't find myself worrying so much about pace or speed anymore. And that's what vlogging has really helped me, because I will run anything between kind of 5 to 6 minute Ks whilst I vlog. That's generally the pace that I'm kind of comfortable at vlogging. I have run faster than that in races and things, and I've run slower than that when injured. But it's managing your body and listening to your body. I've had injuries throughout this as well. So I've had minor little calf twinges and things, and I've just, you know, I run through them now, which I wouldn't recommend for certain people, but I know my body. So I will run at a very, very slow pace just to keep the kind of blood flowing through the muscle related injury. And it has aided my recovery as well. So I'm conditioned to it.
So great to hear Kev's thoughts on that right there. So there are a few good takeaways from this episode. And I think, firstly, running can really help that process with the daily stresses that you have in your life. And it will make you feel that kind of refreshed and recharged, and probably more productivity in your day for just going out and running. So I personally use running very early on in my day, just like Kev has mentioned there as well. And then secondly, for me, this is the main takeaway point, and that is as follows. Running at any level, whether this is competition training for ultra marathons or whether you're just doing it to spend some time outside, I think it's a great way to relieve stress, overwhelm, and anxiety from your life. So hopefully you enjoyed today's episode. And if you enjoyed it, be sure to head over to YouTube, where you can find advice on how to when it comes to your ultra marathon running. And also if you want to follow my own personal journey along the way as well. Please don't forget to give the podcast a review, and also share it with anyone that you think may enjoy the interview there with Kev. So I hope you enjoyed yourself, and I hope we can meet here again next week on the Ultra Running Podcast with me, Coach Marshy.